Welcome to the Word a Day English podcast.
The podcast where you improve your English through clear, natural conversations.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Daniel.
Today's episode is for B1 English learners.
You will hear useful vocabulary, everyday expressions, and natural B1 grammar in context.
You do not need to understand every single word.
First, listen for the main idea. Then notice how the speakers connect their ideas.
Are you ready?
Let's begin.
Today we are talking about money, shopping, saving, and deciding what is worth paying for.
We will follow a natural conversation, review useful expressions, and finish with speaking and listening practice.
Scene 1. Are you still thinking about buying that new phone?
Yes, but I am not sure I actually need it. What is wrong with your current phone?
Nothing serious. The battery is weak and the camera is old. How much is the new one?
Almost 900 pounds. Could you replace the battery instead?
Yes. That would cost about 80 pounds.
That is a useful situation because it could happen in real life.
Yes, and notice that the speakers did more than give short answers.
They explained reasons, reacted to new information, and adjusted their ideas.
That is exactly the kind of communication B1 learners should practice. Scene 2. Then is the new phone really worth it?
That is what I am trying to decide. Are you saving for anything else?
I want to take a trip later this year. In that case, the trip may matter more.
Probably. I would remember the trip longer than a new phone. Look, this jacket is 50% off.
Do you need a jacket?
That is a useful situation because it could happen in real life.
Yes, and notice that the speakers did more than give short answers.
They explained reasons, reacted to new information, and adjusted their ideas.
That is exactly the kind of communication B1 learners should practice. Scene 3. Not really, but it looks like a good deal.
It is only a good deal if you were going to buy one anyway. That is true.
Ask yourself if you would buy it without the red sale sign. I probably would not.
Then you have your answer. I decided to replace my phone battery and save the rest.
That sounds like a sensible choice.
That is a useful situation because it could happen in real life.
Yes, and notice that the speakers did more than give short answers.
They explained reasons, reacted to new information, and adjusted their ideas.
That is exactly the kind of communication B1 learners should practice. Now let's review 5 useful expressions from today's conversation.
Expression, worth it.
It means good or useful enough to justify the cost or effort.
Example, I try to use worth it naturally when I explain a real situation.
Now make your own sentence with worth it.
Expression, good deal.
It means something offered at a good price.
Example, I try to use good deal naturally when I explain a real situation.
Now make your own sentence with good deal.
Expression, afford.
It means to have enough money for something.
Example, I try to use afford naturally when I explain a real situation.
Now make your own sentence with afford.
Expression, change your mind.
It means to make a different decision.
Example, I try to use change your mind naturally when I explain a real situation.
Now make your own sentence with change your mind.
Expression, for the sake of.
It means for the purpose or reason of something.
Example, I try to use for the sake of naturally when I explain a real situation.
Now make your own sentence with for the sake of. Let's pause for a B1 language focus.
At B1 level, the goal is not only to give short answers. Try to explain reasons, contrast ideas, and add examples.
Useful connectors include because, although, however, so, while, and if.
For example, I wanted to go, but I was tired, so I stayed home.
Or, although the plan changed, we still had a good evening.
You can also say, in my opinion, the main reason is, or on the other hand.
Repeat these sentence starters aloud.
In my opinion.
The main reason is.
On the other hand.
It depends on.
If I had to choose, I would.
I used to, but now
I've already, but I haven't, yet.
These starters help you move from short A1 and A2 answers to fuller B1 answers.
Here is a model answer.
Question: do you prefer planning everything or being flexible?
Short answer, I prefer planning.
B1 answer: I usually prefer planning because it helps me feel organized. However, I try to stay flexible when something unexpected happens.
The longer answer gives a reason and adds a contrast. Try to do the same when you speak.
Now let's do a short speaking practice. Answer aloud if you can.
Question 1. What would you do in a similar situation?
Pause and answer in 1 or 2 complete sentences.
A possible answer is, I would stay calm, look at my options, and explain the situation clearly because that usually helps me make a better decision.
Question 2. Describe a time when a plan, habit, problem, or decision changed unexpectedly.
Try to use past simple in one connector such as because, although, or so.
A possible answer is, last month my plan changed because a meeting finished late, so I called my friend and we met at a different time.
Question 3. Give your opinion about today's topic.
Start with "in my opinion" and give at least one reason.
A possible answer is, in my opinion, being flexible is important because real life does not always follow our original plan.
Before we finish, listen to this short B1 story connected to money, shopping, saving, and deciding what is worth paying for.
Alex had a clear plan for the day, but something unexpected happened in the afternoon.
Instead of reacting immediately, Alex checked the situation, considered 2 options, and asked another person for advice.
The first option was faster, but it was more expensive. The second option took longer, but it was easier to manage.
After thinking about the advantages and disadvantages, Alex chose the second option and felt more confident about the decision.
Question 1. Did Alex make a decision immediately?
No. Alex checked the situation and considered different options first.
Question 2. What was the difference between the two options?
The first was faster but more expensive. The second took longer but was easier to manage.
Question 3. Why did Alex feel more confident?
Because Alex had compared the options before making the final decision.
Excellent work. Remember that at B1 level, understanding the main idea is more important than understanding every word.
Listen again and notice the phrases you missed the first time.
Then choose two expressions and use them in your own sentences.
Thank you for listening to the Word a Day English podcast.
Keep listening.
Keep practicing.
And keep using your English in real situations.
See you in the next B1 episode.
Bye.
Bye.